Good morning, church. It is good to be with you today. And today we are reading about the evil King Manasseh. We remember this was Hezekiah's son, and he came on the scene after Hezekiah received that miracle of healing. And apparently Hezekiah at this point had already decided he wasn't interested in pursuing the Lord anymore or something, because he does not raise up Manasseh well, and Manasseh is a wicked and an evil king, sacrificing his own sons in the fire as child sacrifice to their abominable God, shedding innocent blood. We're told in the reports there's some history or almost historical accounts that Manasseh had Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, sawn in two. And this could be alluded to in Hebrews 11, that some of the old prophets that were sawn in two could have been him. And he just is a terrible king. And his actions seal what is going to happen to Israel. It says, "And Manasseh set up the carved image of Asherah, which he made in the temple that the Lord had spoken about to David and his son Solomon. I will establish my name forever in this temple and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel. I will never again cause the feet of the Israelites to wander from the land I gave their ancestors, if only they will be careful to do all I have commanded them, the whole law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they did not listen, and Manasseh caused them to stray, so they did worse evil than the nations that they dispossessed." So he caused the people of Israel to stray. When I think about how people follow leaders and the choices we make, the leaders in our lives really do hold a lot of sway, but we need to put ourselves in a position where there is no human authority that could cause us to walk away from doing the commands of the Lord our God. We have to be so firmly established in God that even if the king sets up the idol in the temple and says worship it, that we would say no and be willing to take what comes from that. That's easy said, hard done. Richard Verbrand, again in his book Tortured for Christ, talks about poor daughters of pastors who had been taken to prison for years, and they had no food, no ability to take care of themselves, and so they turned to basically being informants for the communists so that they could survive. And Richard is sympathetic to them. He says, was it evil what they did? Absolutely. But could you understand why they did it? You could. Can you understand why the people followed Manasseh in worshiping? You could. He was a violent king and a wicked king, and they were probably very scared. But did that make it okay? It does not. And so what can we do as Christians today to gird ourselves up to be able and be ready to live out our faith in the face of significant challenges? God has blessed us greatly, most of us, that we haven't had to experience that, but perhaps unexpectedly you'll have that. So you just need to be thinking of what that will look like and how we can be willing to tell the truth, just like Jesus tells the truth to this Samaritan woman, when he doesn't shy away from disclosing her sin to her, and he doesn't shy away from talking about the reality of the truth with her. Read that account. Let me know your thoughts about how Jesus interacts with this Samaritan woman. But the last thing I want to focus on is when the disciples come after she's gone and they offer him some bread, and he says, I have food to eat that you don't know about. Again, like Nicodemus, they have no idea what he's trying to say. So they say, well, maybe someone brought him something to eat. He says, my food is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. And that is our food too, to do the will of the Lord our God and to continue to pursue what he desires of us daily. That's why he calls it daily bread. He is our regular food, our regular sustenance, and we have to be pursuing him often, regularly, so that we can be fed in our spirit. Again, let me know your thoughts below. What did you take out of today's reading? What stood out? I look forward to talking to you soon.